What is up, legends? We are back, and we're back in Etheria. This is day 12. Excuse me, day 12. So what we're going to talk about today is a few things, including, they gave us the free reset. They acknowledged majority of the things that the community wanted to be acknowledged over the weekend. Good on them. But I just want to put out there that there's another misinformation that went out there again, which is again content creation misinformation number 5. If you guys remember the dupe situation, happened on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. This situation happened on Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to get the parallel. You guys know I deal in objective facts. This is always stuff that's just left out. And then they say, oh, the devs aren't listening and everything else like that. And this is not me defending them, but it's the same sequence over and over again. At a point, it becomes lying. It just really does. So the dupe system, like the whole dupe thing happened where everybody figured out that dupes worked. And what ended up happening is Jack came in, and who's the lead dev, and said, hey, we're going to take a look at it and we'll get back to you. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into Sunday morning, then we had notes talking about what happened. All right, follow me. This situation happened. Everybody found out what happened Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Same sequence of events, minus one thing. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 12:50 a.m. we finally had CM response. Same thing, right? So it was being pitched and billed by most creators. Again, gotta apologize for them because I don't know why they're doing this. Devs aren't listening. Oh my God, look at this. We contacted people and everything else like that. Same time period. Objective truth. It's like you guys can look in Discord in the announcement section for both times that it happened. This has been less than 2 weeks now that we keep getting repeated things like this. The difference this time is that Jack didn't come in. I mean, this man's the lead dev. I mean, like as a courtesy, he came in the first time, but someone else was supposed to come in. Like, why we got community managers for? What are y'all doing? Like y'all supposed to be the ones that come in and say, hey, the team knows, we're gonna look into it. And that's all it would have took. That's all it would have took. Then anybody making raged out, video, even though that was misinformation, but still they would have looked bad immediately. It was like, damn, the devs just like CM just said something. Like, what are you doing? So that is the difference in all this. That could have avoided all of this. So me personally, because I know they're going to see it, CMs, I don't know how many of them is there, or are there, like in a situation like this in the future, you have to come out. Devs, tell your CMs to come out. You have to come out and actually have communication and say something next time so nobody can lie on you. That's all that happened right now. They like devs, you didn't really do anything wrong. In this case, it's just that nobody said anything. You did the same thing. Now, I also want to keep into you guys' thoughts before we get into like the normal stuff, is that they're in China, they're in China, and their weekend starts Thursday. And I believe they come back into work like Saturday into Sunday morning, which is where you get those notes from each and every time. So in most cases, they're not going to respond Thursday, Friday, Saturday until Sunday, which is what happened the last 2 times. That's just what their work cycle is. And I don't think a lot of people know that. Again, all perspective, and I'm saying it so everybody knows that now. So if anything like this happens in the future, we know what to expect, and we don't have people run around like EOS, they're EOS in the game, they won't respond to us until what I'm trying to do is lower the chance for misinformation. So when somebody does do things like that, the community can look at them and say, dog, what are you doing? You can call out the BS immediately, and I don't have to come like days after. And then because what it does is it makes me look like the bully towards them when I'm just trying to tell the truth and calm everybody down. So we can just not have that in the future, and any other type of misinformation that happens like that, just call it out, call them out. Nobody should have to wait for me to come do it. And one of the reasons why I do it is because I'm the oldest creator in the space. I am the first creator in the space, the first gacha creator. And I'm industry. This is not me flexing on anybody or anything else like that. I'm game industry. I have official gaming press. I have press badges. I can go to an event and show up as a press YouTuber, not like as a guest YouTuber. I show up as press YouTuber. You guys remember I used to go to E3. I can go to any event I want to. I get invited to them all, no matter where they are in the world. So I should, it sucks because there's not many gacha creators, but if anybody should hold everybody accountable as creators, it's going to be me. So that's what I do. I'm especially in a space I'm in. I don't like when people are lying and just making stuff up. I'm going to hold people accountable. And on top of that, apparently the community thinks the same way I do because you guys showed out on that video. I thought that, maybe I was being too harsh on people, but apparently the community agreed with what I was saying. That video currently right now is at 5,400 views, over 100 comments, 455 likes to 16 dislikes. We all know who the 16 dislikes are. And everybody's agreeing that people should fact check. At this point, you shouldn't just come out and just make videos and not fact check. All of this would have been avoided if people just gave them some time or tried to figure stuff out. Hell, people could have asked me and I would have calmed a lot of people down. They're not going to ask me because y'all know they're not going to ask me. But the same type of thing is that we need people to be more cautious with how they're doing content. There's people who just flat drama bait. That's what they're gonna do. We know who they are. We know what they do. They go to every game and do the same damn thing every single time. Try to burn the place down and then move on to the next game. Even the people so-called good guys do it, but still manage to keep the good guy moniker when they literally do that every game too. As soon as they're happy or as soon as a nerf doesn't go their way, you got to start calling that out because they will ruin your game. And then everybody will be sitting there we don't got no game to play, when it could be just simple communication. But that goes both ways. I feel that community managers, hopefully they said that they're going to do it, but when the next time something like that happens, you need to be on it. That's what your job actually is. The main dev shouldn't be the one talking to the community. That's what the community managers are for. Again, I don't know how many. I think we had the one Chris or whatever else. I've never spoken to him or anything else like that. But I'm speaking directly to him and everybody else. You can't let things like this go 2 or 3 days when you see stuff like that. You need to respond immediately. That is your job. I don't know what you were hired for, but that is your job. So going into what we're talking about today. So I skipped a few days. This wasn't really a series anyway, but the first thing right here, I win this fight 90 to 100% of the time. The issue here is that red units in Rengoku, so I still said it wrong. Hell, they don't drop often. I want to actually say that and show that because this happened. I've done this 40 times now, and the same thing has happened every time. This is the last thing that you can possibly do. I'm actually gonna let it rock again, and it's gonna be the last time though. because I like ill. Let it rock again. Also my team. Let me show you my team real quick for this. I don't have Biotin. A Biotin would make this easier, obviously. I don't know, why is he targeting that? I have to tweak something right there to make him not do that. But they're fine. With this team right there. And then that character that everybody said to skip. Again, an in-game content clapping thing. Oh brother. Yeah, like oh brother. I make that. There we go. What he did, Inferno? I need to go try Inferno. Well, maybe because not many people are 55. And I just got 55. But yeah. This is what works. Arguably, though, Biotin works better, as you can see. You get some really cool times and all that. You know, let her be fast, get the debuff going with Kloss, and you good to go, right? You good to go. No issues, no problems. We out here. So the next thing I want to actually pick up on is the reset. So what I reset is I reset Leanne. And the amazing reason why I reset Leanne first is I took away her 6-star, dropped it back to 5, and took away her Latissa's. And then I made my Messiah a 6-star. You don't have to do it in this order, of course. This is just because this is what I have in the account. You're looking to make your DPS carries, be the ones that are the 6-star. So if you have a DPS carry that was a 5-star, like say if you had the Ting and you want to make him a 6-star, he is a DPS carry. Messiah is a DPS carry. He's a universal DPS carry, the same way that the Ting is. They can be used in multiple places. The Ting is single target. Messiah obviously is AoE and sustain. That makes things like easier on you. And also you can replace Leanne because Leanne's major draw before was she was AoE DPS and a red element unit. She's also an Infinity Train, which I definitely nerfed my Infinity Train, but overall I kind of like help my progression because I'm using Holden as, you know, DPS and PvP, as well as for Aurora and for Terramaton. He does a very good job in both of them, so you can just keep, you know, all of that in mind. You don't necessarily again have to do it my way. This helps you with your progression as far as, you know, things that you may be lacking something or making something or need to make something easy on yourself, so you can use the reset that way if you have been using Leanne as that. And then I turned around and put the Latifah's into Holden because his one obviously is amazing. 100% turned me to pushback, like bro. And then over here, we're working on getting his overall, you know, base AoE nuke DPS up, which eventually I'll get right here, and then I'll just have a less cooldown on it. It'll be down to 4 instead of, you know, the 5 and everything, so you can actually use that steadfast conviction even more on top of like the extra scaling that goes into it, and then getting an extra base crit rate to help your gear economy, so it's easier to actually reach a plateau and just basically have him critting where you can maybe take off a crit piece and then put on like some crit damage, or even if you want to go more sustain, if you're in PvP, give him some HP or extra defense out there. Not HP. I would just do with accuracy. I think I kind of would have to do that. Nah, I would leave it like this. I take that back. Yeah, I will leave it like this because you need to affect accuracy. But I did go Bramble Strive. Somebody was like, don't sleep on Bramble. I was like, I get it, sir. I'm going to come back to it. I didn't have the gear. Speaking of gear, let's say like this is the original gear that I had on Messiah. So obviously he needs to come up out of this gear at this point. We're at end game. He needs to be in red gear for gear economy again and things like that. So how do you do that easier and not brick yourself? Because what I noticed is a lot of people will just go into the red gear and then kind of like brick their character a little bit. You don't want to do that. Rule of thumb, if you're going from purple or lavender, whatever the hell this character, I mean this color is, to red, get yourself saved around maybe 2 to 3 million on Etheria coin, and then visualize what the gear looks like. Now this is just an example because this is a template that I was thinking about. I'm probably not going to use this, obviously, because I don't have the proper gear economy in this. And the reason why I'm saying that is I want to start setting up for the end game when I'm at the 55 and, well, I'm already at 55, when I can actually go to the Inferno, clears and all that type of stuff. And you start getting those extra things that you can actually put in this slot, which is like the extra gear that like is just an automatic set at that point. And then you start getting 3 drops and across the board on the shells and stuff like that. So you need to start thinking along those lines on what you want to specifically do. So this is just a template. So I'm just looking, and I know this is going to be DPS, so I need my crit. Depending on what type of character it is, if they're just going to be raw bashing, the effect accuracy is not necessarily going to be that important, but this has double crit and crit rate rolls, and then a little bit of sustain with HP. That's good. And then this has attack and crit. I don't like the flat stat, but maybe it'll roll into something good. We don't know yet. And the crit rate over here, obviously we want this to be red, but this is just a placeholder. We have crit, we have defense and speed. That's not necessarily bad. Whenever I see speed, I'm happy. Then we have the crit damage with an attack bonus right there. And what you do with this is, again, you visualize and you start putting a little bit, like, let's say, let me pick one, like this one. This is one that's good regardless. So you look at this, I would like this to turn into attack. And worst case scenario, speed. It turned defense, so I'm immediately mad. So I would just leave this right here, and on top of it being outstanding, because that's not what I wanted. I wanted something as far as DPS. So even though it double crit rate and crit damage, you don't have to get rid of it right away. If you don't have anything else at that point, everything else rolled trash, then you gamble a little bit more on this and then figure out. But this is already not going well because it rolled flat defense. Then you have like over here, you see this is already a flat stat. If you don't have anything else left, then you would gamble and then hope that it would turn like crit damage or something like that. This is defense and accuracy. This is defense and speed. Like I said, I always like speed. This is an interesting one, so we can go ahead. Like that's actually perfect. That's perfect. Like it went straight into crit. So now you have a chance of something interesting to happen after that. It could actually throw crit damage out there, which is good, or even flat stat attack is amazing, or speed. I'm not gonna gamble anymore because I'm probably not even gonna use this. I'm just using this as an example like that. And you start bringing other pieces in over here. You don't do it over there like while you're using the character, because I see a lot of people doing that. I even saw somebody like people got into an argument in world chat about that, which is why I put this down and said I'm gonna put this in the video, because this is gonna this is gonna help a lot of people to not like brick their progression. It looks good. Oh, I got red gear. I'm happy. I know you want to dive into it. You want to go crazy. Also the shell. So you see I had this shell right here. This is not even a 3 over here. So immediately I'm like, I'm just, we need to come up with something else. And I'm not really using Lilith right now, so I'm just using her. So I know that the gear is over here that I'm trying to tweak and make into something. And then when I completely have that gear done and everything is this cool, then you can do one of two things. You can leave it over here and start building up slowly over time, or if you do not want to use any of this, then you take it all off and then sell it and use that Etheria coin. But granted, if these ended up being really good rolls, you can just hand down the gear to something else and just build up this gear over time. Down here, the quickest way to do it is to sell it and then come back and then have everything at 9 going into 12. But the character will be noticeably weaker. So be careful with that, especially if this is one of your PvP characters and you do that and you forget that it's on your PvP defense, that's going to go bad. So, yeah. So the other thing that also I noticed as a little bit, going over and looking at the stuff in the community is, bro, a lot of people were really not understanding or, knew what the Army of 5 was, but didn't really understand what that was doing. So there's going to be points in time. And I always have this saying, and I say it in multiple gacha games, your account power supersedes you summoning all the time and getting characters. And what I mean by that is the more stuff that you have built, the better you can handle things like nerfs. So I literally saw somebody like just raged out and it was like, they bricked my progression because they nerfed Shadow Sania. And I'm like, dog, they nerfed one fight. What do you mean they bricked your progression? Yeah, but what if I was I'm like, you that one fight is breaking your progression. So then he started commenting and talking more, and I realized he only had like 4 characters built. Now again, they didn't break his progression. He being over dramatic. It's just one fight, one boss, and if you guys re-rolled her, I'm kind of like sad because you're gonna need her again, so you're just gonna have to rebuild her later. So good luck with that. But I sort of realized, and then I started talking to a few other people. A lot of people are still building 4 and 5, 6 stars and leaving the rest of their account at like 3, 4 stars. So when stuff like that happens, when they nerf something or something necessarily gets changed and they only had 4 or 5 characters actually maxed and worked on, that does hurt a lot of people because they don't have a large account. And I tried to influence that very early in the game, that it's very powerful in this game to have multiple characters built. That's very powerful. So literally right here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here, just like I showed previously. And then like I just got 5 and 6 like in the last 2 or 3 days, and one of them was influenced because I just straight was going to have holding that 6. We just doing that. And then I have, which again is the Army of 5. So if something happens, I can go in to something else, basically. I don't even know who's going to next 5 star. I'm probably not going to have a next 5 star right now because I need to handle all the characters that I have right now. Like that's another thing. You can't keep building. Like that's just not going to work out. Also another thing what I did is I reset Gray and then gave all his gear and his levels and everything else to Hoyen so I can actually practice and see what I can actually use with Hoyen. She's not going to use that gear for long. I'm going to put her in something else, but she's like a project so I can figure out where she's good at and how I can use her. And if she's really that good at single target, I just want to like get a little bit of an idea right now. And my last reset might be her if she's not as good as I would like, and then just bring up somebody else. I definitely need to still bring up a blue unit. I have Ren already at a 5 star, but obviously Kraken is sitting right there, and Kraken is still Kraken. Sorry about the pun. I'm a dad. So with all of that showcase and everything else like that, the last thing I actually want to talk to you guys about, let's see. Now, how did I randomly start losing? What did I do? Hold on. Something randomly happened. Are they not targeting properly? I might have altered something. Is this on? It is on. But I did notice something. The ting isn't targeting properly, so I have to actually go in and tweak that properly. But yeah, what the hell is that? That's why it's happening. Yeah, I gotta fix that, but I'm not gonna fix it now. That's an easy fix. I'll probably lose half of them again because of that. All right, so the other thing, or the last thing, is that I have been max refreshing this whole entire time, and it really hasn't affected my currency. Like, my currency just goes up and down. Obviously, I don't use much currency for anything else. I don't use currency on PvP resets until today, because for whatever reason, day 12, you gotta attack an arena 12 times, basically. So I had to buy an extra 7 to not have to be doing that tomorrow or something like that. So I lost 700 currency on that, basically. But again, like, you see what my currency is, it just sits around that, which I'm cool with that. Infinity Train is a bother. Just to let you guys know, you need CC. You need CC, and they need to be fast. To not let those enemies chain you. That's how you deal with it. That's why I have to build Kraken, because that's the one thing that I don't actually have a lot of on my account. I didn't build them because I didn't really get them fast, and I'm still where I'm at right now. You know, still Doki cool and everything else like that, but now you definitely need CC to handle like I guess Mio and Kraken and what's the name, Kazuha? I don't have her built, but actually no, Mio and Kraken is the only one who can be in Infinity Train, so she won't even matter because she's a green unit, so scratch that. And Kloss, you can't bring Kloss in there as well because she's green. So Obel, so Kraken, hell, all 3 of them together would be good, because then Kraken will throw out dots while they're all CC and chain. Obel, Kraken, and if you have her, because I don't have her, obviously, Neo, because she's a constant, and she can actually come in there along with Messiah. So her, Messiah, Obel, Kraken, and the healer, you be good. Or you can bring Tia in, because Tia does exceedingly well in there on Bramble. Like she can just help you clear a lot easier, and just, you know, you got to have a little bit of sustain with that. So what I would probably do, if I can get a chance to, is I have Messiah, Tia, Freya, Ling, and Kraken. Or Mio, if you have Mio. Mio is like the better version of that. We will throw out some summons, and then we'll be out of here. Day 12. Day 12, yo, it's over. So I did get Rahu randomly. Randomly from a summon over the weekend. He was 621. So this is 631 right now. So I guess Dorothy was the only one. Yeah. So I'm actually going to keep, you know, using my tickets for the most part, because you need a lot of the stuff that's in the actual. I actually finally got Overo. That is crazy. What? She said here. She straight up said here. Like, I know they've been playing you out. And she's like, I'm coming through double time. It took 641 times to summon to finally get this guy. Let's see that new update. That is crazy. That is crazy. How are you more rare than a light dark unit? Brother, I got Shadow Sonya at 116. Why? That is amazing. Anyway, so I'm still summoning that because I want that red shadow print. I'm just, there's just not gonna, no way I'm getting the perfect Latif. So then I just turn my attention to the purple and the orange shadow print so I can get them, and that's how I'm getting these 5 and these 6 stars. That builds up. That builds up over the course of time. It makes things easier for you. The orange shadow prints make a red shadow print. So you already have one shadow print in there. Then you can make another one with the orange, and then the purple makes, you know, some orange, and it just goes up like that. And then of course you randomly get them everywhere else. So as I continue to keep getting more tickets, I'm not gonna buy any prototype. Just, you know, do my thing. Same thing like the Union Shop. Union Shop got the purple in here, and then obviously I already purchased the red shadow print again. That's where I got my first one from. Then you got the orange, and you continually pay attention. This is what I pay attention to first, because this allows me to build my 5s and my 6s like that. It's over time and it builds up, but you can still do it. So I will catch you guys next video. Like and subscribe. Thank you for the last video, because I didn't expect that to be as well received as it is. Quick story before we go. I had a dev from another game that I am currently, because obviously I have game devs and I have YouTube devs, which scares a lot of people, which I always tell people to behave, because you might get straight up YouTube clapped because there's literal admins on my channel, because I'm a YouTube tester in real life. I'm in the actual program. I test stuff for YouTube. So I always tell people like, and it's happened a few times before, where people be unhinged and I didn't see it, and they get straight platform clapped. And like, I got banned from YouTube on Scion channel. And I'm like, oh, well, I like told y'all to behave, man. like you can't be doing that here. Anyway, but it's just interesting overall. He came and he was like, I haven't seen many creators do what you did in that video and like hold people accountable, because normally, like, you know, he's like, on YouTube, creators just run amok and try to ruin games and nobody says anything. They're just allowed to do it. I'm like, well, that's a thing now. That wasn't a thing like 5 and like 10 years ago. There were people who held creation scenes accountable, people who got another creators like, hey, yo, what you doing, dog? Like, why you out here lying? And I'm an OG from that generation. I live long enough to be in this generation, so I'm holding this generation accountable. And he was basically saying that, no, he appreciates people being good people like that, because there's not a lot of people out here like that. That made me feel kind of warm, because he's a dev, like probably a millionaire, and they don't have to come say that. Like, you don't have to care a thing about me. And I didn't even know that he was following me. I'm going to be, well, I guess, you know, if you're covering a game, then devs probably should come and see who's covering the game. Because I'm on NDA right now, so because I can't tell you which game it is. Coming soon though, very soon. Obviously he's an Asian dev, and he reached out and we had a long talk yesterday about like content creation and how communities act, and he literally was asking me for insight on how they should handle their game, looking at what's happening with Etheria and stuff like that. And I told him the same thing, that community managers, whoever you hire, they need to be on top of it. Don't allow things like this to happen. Like, make sure that, I don't care if they sleeping, wake their asses up and tell them, like, dog, there is a fire. You need to go handle that. like you just can't let people make up stuff and talk for you. The company has to talk for itself. And like we had this, like, you know, long conversation. You know, like, appreciate it. And you'll probably see me in the credits for that game because I'm testing currently for that game, like literally right now. Like I have it running right now and looking at it right now. I just can't tell you yet. But it'll be coming along, and I'm not going anywhere in this game. Like you guys know, I am god tier at multitasking and playing multiple games. So it's not like I'm going anywhere in this game. It's just that they asked me to come over and pretty much game test and help get the game ready, localization and all that type of stuff for global, so it runs as smooth as possible, and kind of like the onboarding for when they need the contact creators and everything else like that, and basically what should be the criteria, what should they look for, and drama guys, my warning. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll catch you guys next video. Peace. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love everybody who stops by. You guys always make my day with your comments. It's always funny and whimsical and gives me a reason to keep going. So be legendary, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.